In the glittering world of celebrity relationships, few have captured public attention, quite like the enigmatic connection between JoJo Siwa and Chris Hughes. Their story began in the confined spaces of the celebrity Big Brother UK house in April 2025, but quickly spilled into a global spectacle of contradictions, intimate photos, and public denials. JoJo Siwa, now 22, first rose to fame as a child star on Dance Moms before building an empire of merchandise, music, and digital content. Known for her vibrant personality and signature high ponytail and bows, JoJo had already established herself as an LGBTQ+ icon after coming out in 2021. Prior to entering the celebrity Big Brother house, she was in a relationship with Australian podcast host Kath Ebbs, who was waiting for her on the outside. Chris Hughes, 32, had his own claim to fame in the UK after appearing on Love Island in 2018, followed by a successful career as a TV presenter and personality. With his charming smile and affable personality, Hughes had become a household name in British entertainment. When they entered the celebrity Big Brother UK house, neither could have predicted the connection that would form between them, or the controversy that would follow once the cameras stopped rolling. It's important to note that while much of this story is documented through social media posts, interviews, and paparazzi photos, some elements require interpretation. Throughout this account, we'll clearly distinguish between verified facts and what appears to be happening based on available evidence. What we know for certain is that JoJo and Chris met for the first time on Celebrity Big Brother UK. Neither had any prior connection, coming from different countries and entertainment circles. Their first interactions were captured on camera, showing what appeared to be genuine curiosity and friendship. As the days passed in the Big Brother house, viewers began noticing something deeper developing. The cameras captured lingering glances, late-night conversations, and physical closeness that suggested more than just friendship. However, at this point, JoJo was still in a relationship with Kath Ebbs, who later described watching these interactions unfold on television as incredibly difficult. JoJo and Chris themselves would later acknowledge their special connection in interviews, though they initially described it in platonic terms. Chris called it a soulmate friendship in a joint interview on ITV's This Morning, while JoJo described him as a gorgeous boy and a great guy. What happened after the show ended would transform their friendship into one of the most talked about celebrity relationship sagas of 2025. Inside the celebrity Big Brother house, the cameras documented a rapidly evolving relationship between JoJo and Chris. Initially, they connected through casual conversations, but viewers quickly noticed how they gravitated toward each other in group settings. By the second week, they were rarely seen apart. One particularly notable moment came when cameras captured Chris gently scratching JoJo's bare back as they lay in bed together, talking in hushed tones. This intimate gesture raised eyebrows among viewers, especially given JoJo's relationship status outside the house. While such physical comfort between friends isn't uncommon in close quarters, the chemistry between them was palpable enough that other housemates began commenting on it. There's definitely something there between those two. Fellow contestant David Richardson was overheard saying to another housemate, "You can feel it in the room when they're together." The production editors clearly noticed this developing storyline as confessional interviews increasingly focused on their relationship. When asked about Chris in the diary room, JoJo described him as someone who just gets me on a different level. Chris, meanwhile, told cameras that JoJo had the most beautiful energy and that he felt they had known each other in another life. Throughout the show, they shared personal stories, with JoJo opening up about her struggles with fame at a young age and Chris revealing vulnerabilities about past relationships. These heart-to-heart conversations often took place in quiet corners of the house, away from the other contestants, but still within reach of the omnipresent cameras. What makes this story particularly complex is what happened immediately after the show ended. At the wrap party following the finale, JoJo ended her relationship with Kath Ebbs, who had flown to the UK to support her. Kath later shared their perspective in a now-deleted TikTok video. "I was told that there are confused feelings there," Kath explained in the emotional video, and that she had realized in the house that I wasn't the person that she wanted to spend the foreseeable future with, which has honestly been so shocking that I feel kind of subhuman right now. I feel incredibly humiliated and I feel a bit embarrassed. When questioned about the breakup on the Vile Files podcast, JoJo confirmed it happened at the wrap party, but offered a different perspective. "I'll be honest, that was not a plan, that was not an intention," she explained. "Initially, I was told that the wrap party was not something Kath wanted to attend, and then about an hour into the wrap party, they did," JoJo continued. "So I was genuinely just going to have a conversation before, and then it just led to another. They straight up asked me if I was happy, and I said no. One thing led to another, and that conversation did take place there." When directly asked if Chris Hughes was a factor in the breakup, JoJo firmly denied this. "There's so many reasons why my breakup happened. Christopher is not one of them. I actually told this to Kath like, maybe it would be easier if he was, but he is not one of them." Chris similarly maintained that their connection on the show was purely platonic, describing it as a soulmate friendship that was not like the standard friendship that you have with your friends during their joint appearance on This Morning. What happened next would call these statements into question and set social media ablaze with speculation. The contradiction between JoJo and Chris's public statements and their private actions erupted into full view on May 26, 2025. During an appearance on ITV's Lorraine, host Andy Peters directly asked JoJo if Chris was her boyfriend. Her response was immediate and unambiguous, a laugh followed by a simple no. When pressed about whether they had discussed exclusivity, JoJo stated, "We have never gone into the kitchen and said, 'My head's not turning anyway,'" referencing Love Island terminology for commitment. This denial came despite mounting evidence, suggesting a much closer relationship. Just 6 days earlier, on May 20th, Chris had shared multiple intimate photos from their Mexican getaway. The images showed them cuddling on a couch, JoJo resting her head on his shoulder and another with his hand placed on her leg. Chris captioned, "The post. The previous 7 days have been the prettiest," JoJo commented, "and happiest. Heart is overflowing." Paparazzi photos published by The Sun during this same trip allegedly captured them kissing in a hotel pool, with JoJo straddling Chris on a pool float, though the image quality made positive identification difficult. Neither denied these photos were of them. The situation reached its breaking point on June 1st, when Chris posted the most intimate image yet, a shirtless selfie of himself in bed with JoJo. In the dimly lit photo, Chris kissed JoJo's forehead, while she rested her head and arm on his bare chest. He captioned it, "Sleepin' Beauty," before deleting it hours later, but not before it had been screenshot and widely circulated across social media. This post came mere days after JoJo's public denial of any romantic relationship. The timing created a perfect storm on social media, with JoJo Siwa contradictions trending on Twitter for hours. One viral tweet with over 200,000 likes read, "Saying we're not dating while posting bed selfies is peak 2025 celebrity culture." The same day as the bed photo, Chris shared Instagram stories showing him spending time with JoJo's parents, calling her father "my boy" as they played video games together. Another reposted video from JoJo's mother Jesselyn showed JoJo kissing Chris's head during a family game night, suggesting deep integration into her family circle. When asked about their relationship status at the Epic Universe opening in Orlando just days before, JoJo had told E! News, "Christopher is my favorite thing to talk about. I shouldn't call him a thing. He's my favorite person to talk about." When shown a photo that appeared to show Chris kissing her forehead, JoJo quickly interrupted with, "No, it's not," despite visual evidence to the contrary. This pattern of public denial, contrasted with increasingly intimate behavior, left fans, media outlets, and even fellow celebrities perplexed. The contradiction became the defining characteristic of their relationship, creating a whirlwind of speculation and transforming what might have been a typical celebrity romance into one of the most discussed celebrity stories of the year. The disconnect between JoJo and Chris's words and actions ignited fierce debate across social media platforms. Hashtags like Chew JoJo Chris and Chara they or aren't, they regularly trended throughout May and June 2025. Fan reactions split into distinct camps, those who believed the couple was intentionally misleading the public, and others who defended their right to define their relationship on their own terms. Celebrity commentator Maria Rodriguez noted, "We're watching two people navigate a relationship in real time, with one foot in privacy and another in the spotlight. The contradiction feels messy because it is messy. They're figuring it out while the world watches." This wasn't JoJo's first complicated relationship. Her dating history shows a pattern of publicly enthusiastic beginnings followed by complex endings. After coming out in 2021, she dated Kylie Prue in an on-again, off-again relationship. Later relationships with Avery Cyrus and Dakayla Wilson followed similar trajectories. Initial exuberance followed by cryptic explanations when things ended. After her breakup with Avery Cyrus in December 2022, JoJo made a telling statement. "I got used for views and for clout. I got tricked into being told I was loved, and I got f***ing played." This comment reveals her awareness of how relationships can be weaponized for publicity, perhaps explaining her current caution about labeling her connection with Chris. For his part, Chris Hughes has maintained a consistent public image throughout the controversy. During a Q&A for clothing brand House of Cavani, when asked about his current relationship status, he simply answered, "Happy," neither confirming nor denying the relationship, but acknowledging his emotional state. Family dynamics add another layer to this story. In a particularly revealing moment, JoJo appeared on Channel 4's Sunday Brunch and shared, "My parents think the absolute world of him, and he and my dad are like best friends. Chris was actually telling me that yesterday they went to the spa together. They're literally best friends. Mum, she absolutely adores him." She continued with a statement that contradicted the just friends narrative. "It feels like we're a family. It feels like he's been in my family for however many years. It feels like they just all get along, as well as I do." The generational divide in reactions has been notable. Gen Z commenters largely support the ambiguity, with TikTok creator Alyssa. Jen's video, "Why JoJo and Chris's situationship is actually the most authentic celebrity relationship," garnering over 2 million views. Older audiences and traditional media outlets have been more critical, questioning the apparent dishonesty. Industry insiders suggest practical reasons for the contradiction. Entertainment lawyer Daniel Foster told Rolling Stone, "Cross-continental relationships between celebrities with different target demographics create unique contractual and branding challenges. Sometimes public ambiguity is strategically advantageous. This suggests potential professional motivations behind the mixed messaging, though this remains speculative without confirmation from either party. Whatever their true status, the public's fascination with JoJo and Chris's relationship reveals our collective hunger for authenticity from public figures and the complicated reality of trying to maintain privacy while living in the spotlight. As of early June 2025, JoJo, Siwa and Chris Hughes remain at the center of a relationship defined by contradictions. The deleted bed photo stands as perhaps the most powerful symbol of their paradoxical dynamic, intimate enough to capture and share, yet apparently too revealing to maintain in the public sphere. This tension between revelation and concealment has defined their connection from the beginning. What makes this situation particularly compelling is how it reflects broader changes in celebrity culture. The traditional publicity-managed relationship announcement has given way to something more ambiguous, a slow-burn reveal through social media breadcrumbs that keeps audiences engaged through strategic ambiguity. Whether intentional or not, JoJo and Chris have mastered this new approach. Media analyst Dr. Rebecca Winters suggests this may represent an evolution in celebrity relationship dynamics. We're seeing a rejection of the binary dating, not dating paradigm. Public figures are increasingly comfortable existing in relationship gray areas, partially because it provides some protection from the intense scrutiny that follows official announcements. The age gap between JoJo 22 and Chris 32 may also factor into their reluctance to define their relationship. While a decade difference between adults isn't unusual, JoJo's history as a child star makes any relationship subject to heightened scrutiny. By avoiding labels, they may be attempting to sidestep the inevitable commentary about their age difference, though again, this remains speculation without their direct confirmation. Their geographic challenge presents another complication. JoJo is based in Los Angeles while Chris's career is centered in the UK. During her Sunday brunch appearance, JoJo addressed this directly. "I think there will definitely be a lot more time spent here. And I think from him as well, a lot more time spent over there, but we both have families, on either end." This acknowledgement of logistical hurdles suggests they're considering a future together, despite the public denial of a relationship. Cultural differences between American and British approaches to relationships and privacy may also play a role. British celebrities typically maintain more private personal lives than their American counterparts, potentially influencing Chris's comfort level with public declarations. JoJo, meanwhile, has spent her entire life in the American spotlight, where relationship status updates are practically expected as public service announcements. What's particularly notable is how this relationship appears to have genuinely surprised both parties. Their connection formed under the artificial environment of a reality show, then had to transition to the real world, a notoriously difficult adjustment even without cameras documenting every moment. Their contradictory messaging might simply reflect the genuine confusion of two people trying to understand their own feelings, while the world demands definitive labels. From a media perspective, this story has all the elements of an enduring celebrity narrative: youth, fame, contradiction, and the tantalizing question of authenticity. Are we watching a carefully calculated publicity strategy, or the messy reality of two people navigating unexpected feelings? The truth likely contains elements of both. For fans invested in JoJo's journey particularly, her evolution from child star to young adult navigating complex relationships represents a coming-of-age story playing out in real time. Her identity exploration, including her statement during Celebrity Big Brother that she no longer identifies as a lesbian, adds another layer of complexity to her relationship with Chris and public perception of it. What remains undeniable is the connection between them, whatever label they choose to apply or avoid. Their body language in photos, their integration into each other's families, and their consistent gravitation toward one another speak to a bond that transcends conventional categorization. As this story continues to unfold, perhaps the most respectful approach is to acknowledge the limitations of our perspective as outside observers, Relationships, especially those formed under extraordinary circumstances, rarely fit into neat categories. The contradiction between JoJo and Chris's public statements and private behavior might not be a contradiction at all, but rather a reflection of the complex, evolving nature of human connection. What's certain is that their story has captured public imagination precisely because it resists simple explanation. In a media landscape hungry for clear narratives, JoJo Siwa and Chris Hughes have created something far more interesting. A relationship that exists in the spaces between definitions, challenging our expectations about celebrity transparency, while reminding us that some aspects of human connection remain stubbornly resistant to public consumption.